community, learning, discussion, respect, integrity, truth, science, and discovery. Welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. I'm your friendly neighborhood ghost hunter, Justin Brown, and we are presenting episode 47, and we will be discussing, should you or should you not charge to investigate the paranormal? Very controversial topic. For some reason, it's still a debate. Whether, I feel like it's pretty universal what the answer is, but we're going to talk about it. Nonetheless, it's been voted on by the Patreons of Interface Death. If you are a fan of the show or just a new viewer of the show and you would like to vote on the topics or submit topic ideas, you can do so by pledging at least $1 a month on Patreon. We'll talk more about that on the show, but thanks for joining us. We have Jess and Missy, as always, on the show. If you don't know how this show works, this is what we do. We submit topics to Patreon supporters, and they vote on the topics that I submit and others submit, and then we talk about them. We have a live show and discuss them. I tell you what I think about the things, then I hear what you think. Jess tells us what she thinks, Missy does, and everybody. And we just have a general discussion. And the goal is to agree to agree or agree to disagree. And we keep it civil. Please, be respectful and classy in the comments. I encourage cross-platform chatting. You can see everybody on YouTube and Facebook on our screen right now commenting. If you would like to be a part of the show and be shouted out on the live stream, all you have to do is just comment something, say hi. Missy and Jess will catch it and shout you out here in a few minutes when we do those things. And feel free to share the stream, help grow our community, and we'll get started. Girls, are you ready?
Ready. I'm ready.
Alrighty. So, if you ask anybody that's been around the paranormal field for a while, the question, should you charge to investigate? The answer is always no. And the main reason is because you cannot prove or validate the existence of any type of ghost, haunting, demonic activity, anything like that. You cannot promise that you can do anything to affect said activity or phenomena occurring in the home, and you can't remove it. There's no way you can promise to remove it. So that type of service should not be something you would need to pay for. But there are ways around those problems and issues, and we'll talk about those. Another reason why you shouldn't charge is probably bigger than the obvious. The paranormal community and people who say they hunt ghosts, psychics say that they can sense, see, hear, feel ghosts, talk to them. A lot of people in the skeptical community do not believe that stuff. They think we're frauds. We think we're faking it, lying, and trying to cheat people out of their money and take advantage of them. And yes, those people are out there. So with that being said, that I think is the worst thing that legitimate, reputable paranormal researchers, investigators, ghost hunters, what have you, try to steer away from. They don't want to be labeled as at that. They try to combat that and give the paranormal a good name. So they're constantly saying, you shouldn't charge. We're against charging. And if anybody has done a residential case or helped somebody out with an issue, it just feels wrong. It feels unethical to do so. And a lot of my experiences, the reason I feel like it's not right is that sometimes, well, more times than not, the things that are lingering around people's homes may be family members. And if you believe that you have found some type of supporting evidence of a spiritual presence that deals with family members, friends, loved ones who has passed away, if you have found closure for them, help them out with the grieving process or some type of lingering doubt or wonder or curiosity, that's rewarding. And to try to financially be compensated for that feels wrong to me. And a lot of the people that I've talked to also have told me that it feels wrong. Doing good, Danny. I didn't want to ignore you there, but we're doing good. I'm just speaking for me. You can ask the girls here in a minute, but I'm doing good, buddy. Thanks for joining us. But charging for these things, like we've stated, is frowned upon for those two main reasons. Now, there's other reasons out there, and we'll talk about those if you want to. You can bring them up. But the other side of the coin is it is expensive to do paranormal research, to investigate, to travel, to stay in hotels, to buy the equipment, to take the time to go over audio and video data, to vet each and every case that you work on. Time, money is spent, and nothing is coming back. I have people asking me all the time after I go to their house, how are you able to afford to do this? Well, you take a loss. There are ways around this. One is through donations. Most paranormal groups are nonprofit. They either file as nonprofit or just label themselves as nonprofit. So people don't automatically assume that they're trying to profit off of the paranormal, and they can keep Uncle Sam off their back because of, the legalities of profit-based corporations and businesses. But there could be a donation button on your website. There could be a donation thing on any social media that you work with. GoFundMe, crowdfunding places. Patreon is something that we use. There are ways to get around it. You could sell merchandise of stuff on your websites, t-shirts, mugs, anything you can think of to try to cover some of these costs without charging people to actually go investigate. And that helps. You can go support your local paranormal group at events. You can go buy their merchandise. You can make donations and pay to support them for the stuff that they do, so they can continue to go out and help people. They can continue to create content that they can consume online and other platforms to keep going. And that's what keeps us going. Without the support through Patreon and other supporters who just pay me directly, we can continue to do this. Now, it's not a whole lot, but it's enough to keep doing it. And everybody in the group, besides a few of us, have disposable incomes that will allow them to do these things. Not everybody does, so they're very limited on what they can do. Now, there's particular instances that you can ask for money that does not have anything to do with providing a service. Now, if somebody in a state or two away wants me to come, I'll say, hey, I can come, but you have to pay for me to travel there, meaning gas. If I have to stay overnight, you have to provide somewhere for me to sleep, either a hotel room or a bed in your home, something like that. They need to know up front. I usually tell them up front, this is just for me to go there to put me in front of you. The rest of it, I don't charge for. I can't afford to take, time, a day, 2 or 3 out of my way to, it's going to cost a couple $100, depending if it's further, if it's across the country, across the world, of course it gets even more expensive. So I don't think that's wrong. I think that's fair. But, they need to be upfront knowing that you're just paying them to get you there. You're not expecting any help whatsoever. You're trying to help them, but there's no promise. We cannot promise that we can do anything about it. Usually, our main goal is to show some supporting evidence that there's something unexplained going on at their home that they report, that they can relate to. You can't prove that ghosts are there, obviously. You can't prove that it's grandma or uncles or children or friends. Can't do any of that. But if they hear something crazy coming down their hallway, there's no rational reason for it, and you capture that, then you can validate the unexplained phenomena to them. And you can do that visually in every other way that they report. And that's basically all we can promise, is if we do capture it, we can present it to them. You can't promise that we can capture it, but we can promise them that if there is actually something going on, and if it happens there, we can record it and say, hey, you're not crazy. This does happen. We can tell you what we believe it is. We can offer some type of cleansing service to you free of charge to try to get rid of it if it's something that's disturbing them. And we can subcontract that stuff out to other people if you do not provide those type of services for people, to local church groups, religious leaders in the community, shamans, psychics, what have you. I've even seen Reiki healers and other types of people, witches, come in to do things. So it just depends on the belief system of the client and what kind of phenomena is going on. So you wouldn't want to bring, a witch to a place that has something disturbed in the land. You may want to bring a shaman or some type of Native American medicine man to the location to help with that. But again, it's based on your belief system, and you have to accommodate their belief systems. So there you have it. I'm eager to get into these comments here and see what's going on. We'll do some shout outs. I see Nelson Dawson here. I know he's been waiting to discuss this topic. So let's go ahead and do the shout outs and let's talk paranormal.
Okay, I have Tom Pelagruto, Derek Schreiner, Chad Barr, Jamie Hunt. Daniel was watching with her. Heather Elliott, Becky Compton. Let's see. There were a couple that didn't show up. And Marlene is watching. Sandy Griffith is watching. Nelson's watching. Danny is watching. Bill is watching. Tom is watching. Josh is watching. Nelson is watching. Sandy Griffith is watching. And I think that's all I have for right now.
Yay. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Okay, I have Sam Thomas. I also have Melissa from Hidden Marietta. We met her at the Anchorage.
Viva.
What's that?
Viva.
Oh, yes. Connie Jackson and John Cool is the only ones that's commented so far.
All right. Okay, thanks for joining us. Any questions, comments, conversation starters?
Nelson said it should be noted that it is not enough to say you are a nonprofit unless you are registered as a nonprofit with your state. At a minimum, you will need to pay income tax on all of those things.
So what he's saying is that if you are going to pay income tax, just to say that you're nonprofit, if you get audited, is not enough in that situation.
I think that's what he's saying, yeah.
So yeah, if you were operating with a lot of events, a lot of paid events, if there's money going in and out of bank accounts, stuff like that, and if that, attracts the attention of an auditor or any type of tax people, then yeah, you definitely have to be registered.
Nadine said, I provide a service as I am an energy healer and have cleansed hundreds of homes of their ghost. And yes, I do charge for my services, which I think that's a little different because it's, would that be any different?
Hold on, let me fix my camera. Just give me 1 second. Sometimes it does this. Okay. Based on what I was saying, no. From my opinion, the reason why we don't do it is because pretty much we get attacked by other people, and to avoid being attacked and being under that light, we don't charge for cleansings. I have never charged for it. I would never charge for it, but obviously other people do, and that's hence the controversial topic and probably the demand for this topic to be discussed on this show. There are people out there who charge for that. And I am not going to go on a witch hunt for people who do. I just choose not to based on those reasons. And I think personally, if your client is saying, I am willing to pay you for this service, even though I know you can't promise me that you'll get rid of it, I think that's between them and the person. Right? Mm-hmm. Despite what other people may say, but legally, you may have to, register as a nonprofit or as a profitable corporation, like through an LLC or some other type of process to where you can legally do business with people and be legal. But, if you don't make that much money off it, it's usually not a problem. It's usually not a problem.
I just had Valerie Wright join us, and Mackenzie Bing Bang had a question. She said, what does it take to be a paranormal investigator?
Okay, well, if there is like a local urban legend, or if there's some place that has claims of paranormal phenomena, or you observe an alleged paranormal phenomena and you investigate it, that's all it takes. You go into a place, you try to find explanations for why these things are happening. You try to correlate the phenomena with either history or science, or, you're trying to collect data to, research why these things happen. All those things are investigating practices. There is no certification for being a paranormal investigator. It's something that's not, it's pretty much you dub yourself a paranormal investigator. There's no certification that I know of. Parapsychology there is. Any other questions?
Nope.
I don't have anything on YouTube. Sorry, Missy.
That's okay. They were just talking about pizza and cheeseburgers and,
Shocker.
Yeah, right?
Let's just talk about pizza and cheeseburgers for 40 minutes. I had this huge sandwich. It was homemade.
You want her to change with Josh?
Yeah, you want Josh to sit in here then?
No. You could talk about that big old sandwich you had right before the show started.
I know, it was really good.
I had a big one. I think Christy got a big loaf of French bread. I cut a big old chunk out of it, and I put some ham. I forget what kind of ham, and all the fixings on there, and I ate it and got full, and the story was done after that. But
I still have my fries over here. Try not to eat them on camera.
You'd be like, go out of frame.
Right.
Daniel, did you give it up? Some groups offer training on equipment. Yeah, that's another thing. You can hold classes and charge for them. That's another way to get revenue. We have talked about it. I've had people call me obsessively wondering if I ever will start that. And it's expensive. If I want to do it, I want to do it right. And it's just expensive. We would have to put out almost $1,000 of our own money to get it booked and get it done, because there is a lot to learn about cameras, about recorders, about applying scientific method or any type of rigorous methodology that's objective. You want to be able to be open-minded, objective when you investigate.
I think that the three of us should get together and do a class. Me, you, and Jess.
Like
so we know how to use what we're using. So we know how to work what we're using.
well, Derek can show you that. I don't have to show you.
Get that thing that has the lights on it and blinks, and that's how you describe it to me.
So you would rather have me do it than Derek?
When I asked Derek a question, like what is this supposed to be on? What setting is this supposed to be on? He takes the camera from me and he does it for me. Just like Josh does with Jess. I witnessed it Saturday evening.
Okay. Are you asking them this on the investigation or at home?
No. I asked him beforehand. She asked Josh on the at the investigation when she was setting up her stuff.
Well, you can ask him again, and if it still doesn't work, I'll help you with anything you want me to help you with.
That's how it's going to go. That's how it goes with you. If I'm standing in front of you, you take it from me and you set it to where you want it and you give it back.
I do that to you?
Misty is unleashing right now.
Well, I'll do that. I'll do that at an investigation, but
everything is my fault.
I can't teach you on the investigation most of the times. Like I can tell you this does this goes there. I just don't take it from you and do it.
You did. The first time I asked you, you took it from me and you did it for me and you gave it back to me.
When are you talking about? I'm trying to remember what you're talking about.
It was, I think we were at the Sanford Center because you had told me to learn my equipment and know what I was supposed to do. And I asked you something and you took it from me and looked at it and you said, yeah, this is right. And you handed it back to me.
Okay, so I didn't do anything for you.
No, but you didn't take my word for it. You just chucked it out of my hand and looked at it and made sure it was right. And then you handed it back to me.
Okay, so you did it right.
Yeah, I did it right.
Okay.
Daryl just jumped on.
What's up, Daryl?
And Doreen had a question.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I am part of a group that does several trainings and there is no charge, but the yearly membership fees. I learn a lot that way. Somebody had a question. Maybe I've lost the question. Oh, no, it's right here. Stephanie, she said, I have been watching videos of investigations online and have heard a couple say REM pods hurt the spirits somehow. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. There's no reason for me to believe that that's true. I've never heard of that. I've actually heard that infrared light disturbs spirits, but neither psychically or physically, I have never felt like a REM pod can disturb them. All a REM pod does is emit an electrical field around its antenna, and it's designed to cause a circuit to alert if the field is disturbed in any way. If there's a variance in the charge, the electric charge, that's all it does. So if a REM pod injures spirits, then there's going to be a lot of things that injure them. Anything that gives off an electrical charge will hurt them. So your house will hurt them, your electrical appliances will hurt them, your cell phone will hurt them. So you see where I'm going there with that. So with a little bit of common sense and reasoning, you can kind of, infer or deduce that probably not.
Stephanie also wants to know, what is your favorite electronic item to investigate with?
It would have to be a camera with really good audio. Like I really like the Zoom Q8s when I got it, but when we upgraded to 4K, the resolution wasn't quite there, but the Zoom Q8 was one of my favorites. Something that you can capture visually, really good high resolution, and then at the same time have really good audio recording so you can hear every little detail and the noises and the ambient acoustic energy that's happening in the environment. That would be my favorite. But nothing beats the human senses in the brain.
I would actually like to shout out Summer Spalding. She's watching. Also, Sam, I know we're off topic here for a little bit, but I just want to read Sam's comment, which I know she did post this up on her Facebook. Do you think the equipment can get attachments?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, everyone's heard of haunted dolls and other stuff. I have not had a whole lot of issue with things, but I've had weird stuff happen to electronics that we were using during investigations. One particular time that we do have video of on our YouTube channel, we were at an underground cellar where the house was gone, but the cellar was still there, and there was a whole bunch of crazy history about it. I won't go into it. You can watch the video if you want, but there was a REM pod down there. We left the place to go investigate somewhere else. It was going all crazy. We had a camera set up. When we come back, it was going all crazy. Then it stopped, and then it would turn on and turn off when we would ask it to. And then after that, it wouldn't shut up. It wouldn't stop. So we had to turn it off, and it would kept doing that. We smudged it using sage and it stopped doing it. So that is odd. Could have been a coincidence, could have been something unexplained and supernatural there. So it is very possible, but I want you to be objective about those things. Try not to let your imagination run amok with that.
Okay, Doreen is new to our show, and she wants to know, what is your opinion on all the phone apps that are out there? I know some of them are for entertainment, but there are a couple I find interesting, like the Spirit Box type and the Boo Bear app.
I'm not familiar with the Boo Bear app. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I'm familiar with the Boo Bear, which is a teddy bear with a REM pod in it, a proximity meter, an EMF meter, and several other different types. Most of the apps are for entertainment use. Some of them do detect electromagnetic fields, and those are decently accurate. I mean, if you get a Compass app, it can detect magnetic north. So it does have the technology in it to read EM fields, but not quite like, legitimate calibrated EMF meters do. So just take that, understand how that works. The Spirit Box ones are just like regular Spirit Boxes, but most of them use the what's it called? The webcasting stuff, the radio channels that broadcast over the internet, and that's what you're hearing. So instead of just hearing the radio waves go through the air, typically with AM, FM, you're hearing, broadcasts from the internet through Wi-Fi. So, yeah, the legitimacy of spirits tapping into your Wi-Fi and manipulating it, you would need some type of incredible proof to validate that's what's happening. What happens with those type of devices? And I know this is going off a little off topic, but I do want to answer this question. We do have shows on this, Tech Talk live videos. So if you want to learn more about what I think about it, I can definitely direct you to the videos that go more in depth. But the human mind is searching for these responses. If you're searching for a name and you hear something that kind of sounds like a name, or you do hear a name, you're going to think, oh, that was a response. It could have been very coincidental. Radio broadcasts say a lot of names. Okay, if you're asking about a celebrity or someone well known, the chances are you'll get that is higher than someone who's not well known. If you're asking for yes or no's or whatever, it could be a coincidence that they come across. It's very controversial, and you just got to be careful. Most of the apps that I've seen, they're either false positives via pareidolia or some type of trick of the mind, or through some misinterpretation of what's coming out of them. So hopefully that answers the question.
Robert Beach just joined us. And Doreen said she found out about the app on the website that sells bears.
Okay. All right.
I guess Daniel Everson had a Zach Biggins moment on Saturday too. Him and Derek are talking about that.
Bro.
Right? Do you have any app recommendations? Doreen wants to know.
No. All I would recommend you use is a video camera, not a camera, a video camera, and the best video camera you can afford and the best audio recorder you can afford. Okay, those are the two main things you need. A computer and the internet are good tools. You can research the history. You can learn about all your equipment using the internet. Learn how the recorder works so you can determine whether something supernatural is messing with it. Learn about it. Talk to other seasoned and reputable paranormal groups and ask them what they think about, EVPs and recorders and video anomalies, the shadow people and the orbs and all that stuff. Just make sure that you do a lot of research. Now, when we had Daniel Everson, since he's in the chat, we had him on Necromancer, and he said that that's what he did. He researched the crap out of the paranormal before he even started diving into it. And I thought that was pretty smart. People usually don't do that.
William Bennett joins on YouTube. I do have a question, and it again, it is off topic, and then we can go right back in. Mm-hmm. Summer wanted to know, was there ever a time where something had happened or you gotten a feeling that had scared you?
Yeah, absolutely. Does she want to know what happened?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, I want to know too, so.
We'll assume that she did. Well, I've talked about it on the show. I'm pretty sure. The first time I was scared was my son. I grew up in this house where it had activity in it that was unexplained, and my explanation for the activity was the place is haunted. Okay, so you can debate that, sure. But I was like 60-70% it's haunted, 40-30% I might be stupid, crazy, or just misinterpreting things. But there was a point where I went straight to 1000% it's fucking haunted. And I'll tell you why. My mom and dad got a divorce. I was living in the same house that we grew up in from like 92 to 98. And my son had just turned 2.5-ish, and he was first couple words would come out, and then he started forming sentences. And, he would say things. And we were upstairs. And to kind of set the story up, we bought this house from someone who lived in Hillsborough, the town we lived in. And a year later, he ended up committed suicide. And when stuff started happening, my mother would say, "This is the person who sold this house." He kind of came back to it, and this is why it's happening. So I'm upstairs. It's just me and him, and we're talking. And he starts talking about a guy named John. And at first, I was assuming that he was talking about my dad. My dad's name's John. So I asked him, "Are you talking about your grandpa John?" He says, "No." He says his name, full name, and says John blank blank is dead. First sentence he ever said, coherent sentence he ever said. And I've never spoken anything. I've never spoken his name around my son. Never mentioned anything about a haunting, about dead people at all around him. And he just said this guy's full name and said that he was dead. And he said he was talking to him, playing with him in his room. So I screamed and ran out of the house and left him there. It was very terrifying to know for a fact that dead people talk to your children and there's nothing you can do about it. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't capable of handling it at that time. And, and I've ran the questions of your head, could he have heard this? No. I mean, the kid is 2. Never talked about it around him. I haven't said his name in years before he was even born. and I was scared. That was the first time I was legitimately terrified.
I do want to do 2 more shout outs and I'll be done. Paranormal Voice jumped on and Limelight Girl.
Oh, Lime Lit Girl.
What? I'm sorry. Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to the channel.
I got Zach Bender just jumped on.
Okay.
Zach with a K.
Did you have a question? Did you have a question?
Actually, John he made a good point. Let me scroll up here real quick. He was saying about research equipment first. Don't just buy because it was on TV or YouTube shows. Spend wisely.
Yeah, that's why I suggested to learn about how it works and all that. It's really good advice.
Yeah, just because you see it on TV or something doesn't necessarily mean.
Please don't use Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, or any other TV on there. Message John Cool and ask him all the questions that you want to ask me.
John's like, no.
John, take care of my light work, buddy.
Oh, John's a nice guy.
I know. That's why he's going to do it. Okay, yeah, that is something that we do want to be clear about. All right. Anything else? Anything that involves charging to investigate, like asking for money for a specific service within the paranormal, and that's what we want to talk about. What you going to say something there? Let's see.
Derek was responding to your to Doreen's question. He added on to it. He said, "And a deadlight for your camera. Can't live without that."
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about deadlight later. We plug at every show. Which is
so we have a Tim Allen thing going on here.
So yeah, there are people out there that do charge, and I am aware of that. And like I said, I don't actively start a hate campaign against them. I don't attack those people. When people ask me how much I charge, if they call me up and they've never talked to a paranormal investigator before, and they ask me, for their help, a lot of them ask me for how much I charge, and I tell them that I don't, and I usually tell them, don't, ask for anybody to come investigate your home if they do charge you. I tell them not to, and that's just my opinion. But I'm not going to, if you say that you do, I'm not going to say, well, you're wrong. That's not my place to do that, but I'm not going to advocate it.
Hello, Spirit Stalker.
Doreen says, I am skeptical of the camera that shows dots as entities. Me and you both, Doreen. You're talking about the SLS camera. I had a friend and follower of our group send me one, and we have been definitely playing around with. I do have a video on this blog page talking about my skepticism, but I'm going to release a hands-on real-world review on that. So stay tuned for that. It's coming. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to do all kinds of tests with it. And I have been taking it to the locations that we go to. We should do a Sunday show. You're trying to kill me, dude.
Yeah, Bill wanted to know if this was a 2-hour Easter show.
He wants to. No, but we're probably overdue for a 2-hour show. If the patrons want me to do a 2-hour show next week, we'll do one. It's up to them.
Paranormal Voice, thoughts on charging for ghost hunts on public or free locations?
That's different. That costs money. You got to rent out the place. You got to make sure if there's any liabilities that your company or the people there need to have, like insurance or anything that coverage for liability. That costs lots of money. If you're going to feed them, that costs money. So that's different. I think if we were going to host an event for people to come do a ghost hunt, you should charge. Unless you have lots of money and money's not an object to you and you want to pay for it all, then don't. But I don't have anything against that at all. But if someone calls you and say, hey, there's something in my house, it's scaring the crap out of me, will you come investigate? And, if they're within my service area, I do 100 miles around my hometown for free. I don't ask them to pay me for gas or nothing. If it's outside of that, depending on the case, I may still do it for free if they're telling me there's children involved, or old people, or someone that's very vulnerable that cannot protect themselves, and they have strong evidence, or if I have some intuition or gut feeling that that's happening, then I probably still will go without charging them a dime. But if someone calls me in another state and they're just curious, I won't. But good question though. Go ahead.
Yeah, they also said, I mean, for groups that don't use the land with officially renting the land. Like previously, Paranormal Voice said public land.
Okay. Read that to me again.
I think what it was, the initial question was thoughts on charging for ghost hunts on public land or free locations. But I think you did touch base on that.
Yeah, if you're having an event, then yes, charging for the event to cover the cost of it is fine. Keith Campbell says, I've captured more EVPs on my camcorder than any other recorder I've owned, so quality camera is definitely the main tool we need. Yeah, I agree with that. If you have a camera that with a really good mic and recorder on it, that's the best thing. Very best thing.
William had a question. Do you work with advice from those who could practice pagan practices such as Wicca, witchcraft, mediumship, etc.? What is your feelings on that?
I do work with them, yes. I feel like it's necessary to delve into, learn about, and use the knowledge from any subset of the occult, witchcraft, demonology, any type of spiritualism or metaphysical practice. Okay, because the main reason I do that is because the paranormal involves manifestations of consciousness, meaning that things emanate from our conscious thoughts and conscious beliefs. Okay? Do I believe in Jesus Christ? No. But lots of people do believe in Jesus Christ, so therefore it has tremendous power. Power that exceeds the scope of scientific understanding. So that can be said about everything supernatural and everything magical. So you have to know what the belief systems are, because witchcraft is real, because it's given power through conscious intent.
Joe Vitale just jumped on.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, Reed Nelson's comment there, Missy.
He said it takes a lot of time to plan and coordinate those types of events. It's a great way to include the public and let them see for themselves that it is nothing like the TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real representation of an investigation. You're sitting there in the dark. It's very quiet. There's a lot of noise that you hear that's going to, impact your investigation. You have to learn the realization how to deal with those things. Not every little noise that you hear is a ghost. It's not as sensationalized. You may have, if you're at one of Nelson's events, it's not going to be sensationalized. But you may go to an event where they tell you some creepy story to scare the crap out of you and then send you into a dark room. There is that out there. So if you go to these things, make sure you got somebody leading the investigation that's objective and educated as much as possible. Do some homework on it.
Bill said Christ was a real person, though, Justin. It's in the census.
It's in the census? Okay. Yeah, it's debatable whether he is a real person. I said I didn't believe in him. But that's just my opinion. And I would understand that would trigger a lot of people.
Nikki Bow just jumped on.
Nikki Bow. I've never heard of Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Trying to go through these comments here. Is there anything Hi, Nikki. Hope everyone's doing good. Yep, I'm usually tired every time I go on these shows, and so are the girls. I mean, Jess just got back from her daughter's softball practice. Missy has to deal with a psychotic dog all day.
And her psychotic self.
No, you're not psychotic. Maybe neurotic, not
Sometimes
psychotic.
I feel like I'm psychotic.
But yeah, we're here to answer your questions, to shed light, give our opinions on, we're passionate about this stuff. We're constantly learning. Our viewpoints are subject to change. We're not set in our ways. We don't know everything. We learn. We try to learn from people who watch a show, that interact with us, other people out there in the field. That is like our main objective, is to learn as much as possible and to discover, what we find mysterious, what we may call paranormal. We're trying to figure it out, even though we probably may never. Hi, Josh. We probably may never figure it out, but usually that doesn't stop us. So, Jess, if you're new to this show, Jessica has just started going on investigations with us this year. Before we get into that, though, there was a comment about people asking for a membership fee, and I'm not against that either. And I think we're going to start implementing that in our group. If someone wants to join Interface Death, we're probably going to have to charge them a fee. And I want to talk about that real quick. Charging people a fee for a group is I think ethical and a good, smart idea. I think that if you are willing to be in a group and show that you are going to be loyal and that you're serious about it, you're going to have to step up financially too. Like Derek, Missy, Jess, and Josh Bender, they all stepped up financially to support our group. They did not need to pay a fee. They invest hundreds and thousands of dollars into our production company and our paranormal group. And if you are not bringing in that type of investment into the group, you're going to have to do something what you can't afford. If you can't afford that, you're going to have to at least, pay some type of fee to help with some things, along with paying for the investigations, your part in the investigations. But if you're using our equipment and you're using, our expertise to teach you and train you, it's perfectly fine to charge for that. But Jess, back to you. What, you being the newest member and getting into this, what insight can you offer the viewers? Some of them were curious about getting into it and stuff like that. What insight can you give them? Like, what was your initial impressions? Did they change after you started doing them? Anything like that?
Well, I mean, I kind of was educated a little bit since Josh has done it, for such a long time. So I kind of knew what I was getting into before I got into it, I guess you could say.
Not TV then.
What's that?
Not TV shows then.
No, and actually, honestly, I've never watched the TV shows. So I didn't, I have, since I've, been connected, I have flipped through them, and then I'm like, yeah, okay. So I was like the opposite, I never watched them to have, and an opinion about them.
So what have you, has anything come as a surprise? Has anything been noteworthy after the last couple?
Yeah. I think I know what you're trying to make me to say. I think it's very interesting on some of the things that comes to mind before going to a location. If that's what you want to touch base on.
Yeah, from a psychic point of view.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting of how the connection works and how the brain and develops and to be able to come up with some of the things. I mean, it doesn't make sense to you, but when you look at it at a different perspective, it's like then it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What investigators connect dots, psychics connect dots. It's all about connecting dots.
Sure.
And
yeah, it took a while for me to understand that, but I got it now.
Oh, there's
think.
there's going to be plenty more questions, and
I'm sure. I'm sure.
you
Gonna be
know,
like, Justin.
I scratch my head every day, all day, and I think about all these things, and I can come up with guesses. I can try to come up with some answer to fill in the blank until I get something better, and that's all I can do. It's all speculation, most of it, but it comes from some type of educated guess. It's not like I just pulled it out the hat or whatever.
Right. I mean, well, just to know a little bit of, a little bit of background, I think helps a lot.
Yeah. And the research we're doing. Oh, was Missy going to say something?
I don't want to interrupt, but Christopher Reiki Gates just jumped on and said, "Hi, everybody. Have a great night." He just jumped on to check in and see how we were.
Who did?
Christopher Reiki Gates.
Oh, Rocky.
Right. Yeah.
What's up, Rocky?
I don't know how to say that.
Chill seekers, man. Get it right.
And Vanessa just jumped on.
Hi, Vanessa. We're on a Thursday tonight, so we're not interrupting your preparation for your show.
And we did bring up Vanessa at the last investigation.
We did.
Justin.
We
downtown,
did?
Justin Brown. Yeah, remember? I was going to tell you I was going to call Vanessa on you.
In the attic when you said you were going to leave her up there.
You don't remember
I was just joking. I actually don't remember.
She said that she was going to call Vanessa, and Josh said Vanessa would kick your ass if you left her in the attic by herself.
Okay. Well, I understand why she would say that, because for me, I can easily just block everything out. Where Jessica might not be easy for her. Like, really good psychics, it's harder for them to do that. You know what I mean? They're more sensitive. They're more vulnerable. And the more time they spend protecting themselves from those vibrations, the less receptive they're going to be to them. So it doesn't make sense to bring someone in that is very receptive and have them turn it all off. What you want to do is have support for them. If things start to go bad, you get them out, you do what you need to do, but to leave them there leaves them a little bit more vulnerable than you probably should. But there's a fine line there. But maybe she said that because she just felt empathetic towards your situation. She didn't want you to freak out. Now, she said Madison, she didn't say anything about the Anchorage, right?
No, but at that time, Madison was the only one I was going to at that time.
Okay.
But
that was a loophole, by the way.
Spirit Stalker wants to know what states we are all. Josh and I are from West Virginia. Missy and Derek is Indiana. Justin is Ohio.
Yep.
Have a question. In your opinion, what is the best program or software that you have found for EVP review or audio filtering to enhance EVP audio?
You don't need a very powerful or expensive audio program to do it. There's free ones that can do it just fine. Audacity and NCH software does it just fine. You can pay for NCH. There are a lot like Adobe Audition. What's Derek use, Missy? Derek has a program that he likes to use.
Honey?
We can. Yeah, Vanessa, that's what I'm saying.
Right now.
The more you block, the less receptive you are, and you're pretty much useless at that point.
Well, I don't even get that. I don't know how you would block it. I can't.
The way I would explain it is everyone's different, but it's a natural mechanism, protective mechanism. Like a lot of people, I like to use this analogy. A lot of people have immune systems to guard themselves against things, bacteria and things that can get into their body and wreak havoc. everybody, I believe, has a spiritual immune system. Some people that have immune system disorders will find themselves more sensitive to the spirit world, and their immune systems are tied to their spiritual immunity. Okay? You both have immune system disorders. So it's going to be hard for you both to turn that off because of that reason, in my opinion. Me, I got a stout immune system most of the time, as long as I'm eating right and take care of myself. And men use a different side of their brain, and they're physiologically different. Now, Vanessa might have some more insight on this, but based on my research and experience, that's why it's easier for me to do it, and it's harder for you. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
You don't want to accept that? You think that's unacceptable? What's Janet have there to say? Let's keep up with these comments.
I was recently on an investigation and things just did not make sense. So I finally called a friend who was very sensitive. Didn't tell her anything, but she was able to piece everything together and it all made sense. Left the family feeling much more at ease.
Nice. Yeah, FL Studio is a good one. That we had talked about getting that because you can produce your own music for your own video content, which is very beneficial for copyright purposes.
Johnny Grisby had a question. He said, "What is the most scariest place you have been to?"
My house.
In his mind.
No. The most scariest place I've ever been has been my own home. Because I live there. When you go to a haunted location, paranormal phenomena is rare, and usually things don't happen when you want them to. So usually it's your mind scaring yourself when you go to those locations, not the phenomena. But if you live in a location where stuff happens, the longer you're there, the more chance of it happening, and the more that frequency, vibration, phenomena can phase into your reality and affect you. So if you live in a haunted location, that's where you're going to be most terrified. Or work there. Spend a lot of time at. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We got a lot of people viewing, so I don't want to wrap it up yet. Vanessa said, shielding Missy, but my shield is so good it shows an aura of photos. That's why I choose not to use it during the investigation. Yeah, but that's something that doesn't come easy to everybody, obviously, for various reasons. Thank you guys for answering my question. The info is extremely helpful. Well, I'm glad that we were able to help somehow. Right, I agree.
Vanessa,
go ahead.
Sorry. Vanessa just said women are infinitely more connected to spirit vibrations, so we have a harder time.
Right. Men who know this and understand neurology, psychology enough, they can tap in to their right brains. Men are left-brained, and they're left-brain dominant. That's science, objectivity, stuff like that, math. Right brain is sensitivity, art, creativity, stuff like that. And there's a lot of solar plexus stuff in there too. And I've been researching a lot about the solar plexus lately. And if you have any blockages or any type of interference in your solar plexus and you're right-brained, or you're accessing your right brain, like with women, it can cause a lot of issue in the spirit realm and with paranormal phenomena, especially if you have psychic ability. And I'm still researching that, but yep, it's women.
You sent me all that stuff to say to myself, and I said it all, and I felt like I was lying to myself.
What?
At the end of the article that you sent me, there's all these affirmations that you
Mm-hmm.
have to say that I want you to say to yourself every
Mm-hmm.
day. And I said all of them, and I felt like I was lying to myself.
Why?
I don't know. Because I
Like,
don't feel like I'm any of those things.
you don't feel like you're any of those things. So you don't, that information you didn't trust.
I trusted the information. I'm sorry. I trusted the information. I just didn't have the confidence in myself to believe that I was those things.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So,
Bill just asked, why is Justin touching his head while talking about his brain, Derek?
is that a penis joke?
No,
Why?
he was asking Derek why you were touching your head while you were talking about your brain.
My brain's in there, dude. That's where my brain is. The sides of my brain.
That it's a reflex. He's illustrating his message.
The woes of producing and hosting a show continue.
I can hear Christy in the living room cracking up.
Yeah. I can hear her too. She's got to get her laughs in somehow, right?
Right?
I've seen a lot of comments coming in. I don't want to miss any of them. Are you guys keeping track?
Can ghosts and spirits use energy from light bulbs? I have one in my hallway that flickers every now and then. And we've had had DP in there to check it. So I just find that really weird, and it makes it look like a horror movie. LOL. Any suggestions?
Okay, no one knows if they use any type of energy to do things. Scientifically, if you subject any type of electronics or electrical circuit to an EM pulse, it will cause it to stop working. So, if there is a very strong fluctuation in electromagnetic fields anywhere in your house, your electronics, it will flicker. So, I would speculate that if some type of intense paranormal phenomena is occurring and you're seeing a flickering, it could be an EM pulse. That's why you use EMF detectors to kind of correlate that.
Katie just jumped on.
Hi, KT. Vanessa says women know, for the most part, when life starts inside them. They also know when death happens, miscarriage, even before it truly happens. This contributes to the spiritual connection. That is very true. Men have to deal with an extra chromosome.
It's not my fault.
It's not, yeah. That's a good one. That's an inside joke. But yeah, men have to dig to connect with their feminine side. In some cases, women with, gender issues do too.
Jess?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not doing anything.
My great grandmother was full blooded Cherokee.
I did. I put my head down.
Go
Sorry.
ahead and read, Brian.
My great grandmother was a full blown Cherokee. I feel as though the blood running through my veins, that's where my spiritual comes from, and why I feel I've had experiences. I've been through light.
She might be continuing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Heightened spiritually. What is your take on this? Would like to hear from you guys.
Yeah, I have a lot of Native American heritage, and that type of DNA can definitely contribute to being more connected with the earth and the land you're on. And yes, spiritually, you can feel more connected. I believe that.
Summer had a question, and you know who Summer is, right, yes. Justin? Okay. She says, I've had strange feelings at times in my own house or even in public places. I've even seen a shadow not a figure, just a shadow follow me around in my house.
Okay. Did she have a question there, or was that just an experience?
I think it was just an experience.
Okay, I've had strange feelings at times in my own house or even in public places. I've even seen shadow follow me around in my house. Yeah, Summer. There's a lot I can say just based on looking at your photo on Facebook. I don't necessarily want to say it now, but if you would ever want to call me, my phone number is on this blog page on Facebook or on my website. You can call me anytime you want, and I can talk to you.
Keith Campbell said, I sense with the right side of my brain that Josh is dancing behind Jessica's laptop naked, trying to make her laugh.
Wow.
What's up, Katie?
And Derek said, yeah, wearing only his deadlight beanie, LOL.
Oh, no.
That's pretty funny.
I don't think there's enough alcohol for Josh to do that.
By the way, the Madhouse is premiering on VidiSpace Sunday. Keith Campbell and a few other folks that we support. If you want to support Keith Campbell's latest project, go send him a message, go to VidiSpace, go to the Madhouse Facebook page, and check that out. They're going to have DVDs of their documentary out soon. Pretty excited about that. Same with exposure to infrasound, which can be totally natural in nature or basic mechanical in nature, or mechanical in nature, like a fan blade out of sync. It seems rubbish, but it's not. The effects are often mistaken for paranormal, but that can go both ways, in my opinion. Yeah, I often wonder if spirits can produce infrasound. A lot of times I think it has a lot to do more with ultrasound, though, when it comes to EVP and stuff, and maybe even levitation. He's building lights naked. Pics or it didn't happen, Josh.
Derek said it. Jess is like, he's right behind me, bro.
do we want to reminisce?
Yes, you have to tell that story.
No, I want you to. Do you think I'd tell it better or you?
You.
Hold on. I'll let him tell it.
Yeah, let Derek tell it.
This was so funny.
We were at the Anchorage in Marietta. If you're in the Ohio or West Virginia or Kentucky area, you need to check that place out. If you can't find it online, just message us or email me at justinbrowninterfacedeath.net and we'll get you there.
They have to be on the bloopers. You have to put that in somewhere.
People are definitely going to see that.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
I've been talking about it in the chat to Daniel and everybody. So for everybody to know, here's what happened. It was freaky. We were in a hallway, weren't we?
Yes, we were by the servants' corners.
Yeah. And I was standing in a doorway, and it got real cold behind me. So as I'm standing there, I'm thinking, man, it's cold. So I started telling everybody, hey, there's something cold behind me. It's like wrapped around my waist. Well, I moved down to the end of the hall by the window so that we could check the spot that I was at. Justin was standing there checking the temperature and noticed a 5-degree temperature change after I walked away. Temperature rose 5 degrees from where it was. Well, as the temperature rises there, I feel the same cold spot behind me at the other end of this hallway, and it's going across my hand. And it feels like I'm in a wind tunnel. And the only thing that I could get out was, it's behind me, bro.
It was so funny.
And it was like, I went there. What the hell?
And as soon as he says that, I'm like, who the fuck are you, Zach Bacons? It's like he was trying to audition for a part for the show, is how he said it.
It was more dramatic than just what Derek said. It was very dramatic.
Yeah, he was freaked out. His eyes were like large, freaked out.
But it was pretty funny.
It was the weirdest thing that I felt I mean, I felt stuff tug on me, touch me, shit like that, but this felt freaking weird.
Yeah, because actually you started feeling it, and then Josh heard something.
Yeah.
Remember, because then we were
footsteps.
we were near Josh, and then you walked back over, and then that's when you said, "It's behind me, bro."
Yeah.
How many times have you said "bro" after that?
Not very many.
Well, it became a joke for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Right.
And we weren't live streaming at the time, but it would have been great if we were, because everybody could have been laughing right along with us.
It was very funny at the time.
Mm-hmm. We do live stream like an hour to hour and a half portions of our investigation. We try to. It's very fucking difficult, but we do 1080p high quality audio, and sometimes we're late because we're trying to set it up. But you can check out what we do live on our YouTube channel. We don't usually like to stream to Facebook because they downgrade the resolution to 720 when you do that, and I don't think it's a very good viewing experience. If you can't at least do 1080, why the hell do it?
William Bennett says still a better story than Twilight. Brian said, laugh my ass off. I probably would have shat myself and said my pants, bro. That's funny.
Yeah, it was just, he's never said anything like that to me or anybody around me. I'm like, now maybe we understand what it feels like to be Ghost Adventures crew. Maybe that shit happens to them and it makes them say that shit.
What was weird, because that was the only, I kept trying to say something, and that was the only thing that would come out. It was like, where did that come from? That's the only thing that I could get to come out.
That's fine. But yeah,
Exactly.
thanks for sharing that. We're going to be laughing about that for a very long time, I would imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the Anchorage is a cool location. That was very active. Like, it's legitimately active. There is a lot of history and a lot of psychokinetic energy permeated throughout that building. A lot of layers.
Oh yeah, a lot
you got
of layers.
The Underground Railroad history. You got the history of the story of the builders of the location. You got the nursing home years. It's sat abandoned. It's made out of sandstone and an Italiante style architecture. Beautiful, massive structure with lots of history. And we try to correlate the events that happened there with the stuff that people experience and report. And we definitely caught something right out of the gate there, didn't we, Jessica?
Sure did.
So hopefully that the season 6, that will be the second episode of season 6. Hopefully it comes out. It starts in May. We need to get a lot of stuff going for that stuff to be released, but we're reviewing it.
Keith Campbell said that I need a custom shirt now.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe I should make decals like that. We can make quotable decal.
Turn you Derek into a meme. It's got his face. He's got the scared look, and he's like, "There's something on my back, bro."
That was funny.
He's a new meme.
It was very comical. That was actually better than when we were at OSR and the light switch got flipped on me, and I just about peed my pants. That was pretty good, because they flipped the light switch and I just kind of stopped what I was doing and started looking around, and Justin was like, "Did you pee a little?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so." It scared the hell out of me. We didn't think the light would come on, and they reached over and flipped the switch, and it bam, and the light came on. It's pitch black and then bright ass light. Like,
yeah, a lot of times there is those moments where we just can't help to laugh. We're the way we do it. It's very hard and stressful. We travel long distances on very little sleep. It's very tiring, very expensive, very just hard. And you cannot help but to have some kind of comedic relief here and there. You know, I try to be serious a lot, but you just can't be serious all the time. It would not be fun at all.
Yeah. Well, see, when you start getting agitated and angry about shit, I try to come over and lighten everything up and calm you down, try to help organize a little bit better, straighten shit out, see if we can right the ship before it starts sinking. Especially like with the live stream just frustrates you so bad. And it's like, look, calm down, chill out. What can I do to help? Let's try this.
Shoot me in my fucking head is what you probably should do.
If I had a hammer, I'd give you a nice whack.
That's a true friend right there, Justin.
It is. Derek. Derek is a true friend, no doubt about it. So if you don't have any other questions, sorry, we went off topic there, but we extended it out a little, the show out a little bit. We had some new people on, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, we had quite a few.
And I don't mind answering questions off topic as long as it stays paranormal and classy and respectful. Supernatural Lost Adventures is late. We have to go for another hour now. I'm just joking. I don't think I got it in me. But
that's funny.
If you guys have excuse me, I need something to drink. If you guys have any more questions about the subject of this show, ask now because I want to wrap it up.
Viva la Melissa is now watching on Facebook.
Melissa.
She was on YouTube, I think, to begin with.
Yeah, she was. She started off at YouTube.
Wait, I do want to... go ahead, Derek.
I did direct Doreen to our website and YouTube channel for information, tutorial videos, and anything that she would want to watch to help her out to understand what we do, how we do it, and why we do it.
Yeah, we try to organize it, especially on the website. We have the tabs just to kind of break down the type of research we do, the equipment we use, and if you go to the videos tab on our website, it's broken up in categories. Now, if you go to YouTube, there's playlists that talk about equipment, theories, all the technical stuff. There's this show. There's a lot of shows where we interview other people in the paranormal field, authors, what have you. We do documentaries and episodes of our investigations. We do live streams. We do live stream reviews, all kinds of stuff.
Brian says, woohoo, another hour. Let's do it. That we have a different week.
We're starting to lose viewers. That's why I want to wrap it up. But yeah, I'll shout out Viva there. She's a co-owner of the Marietta Tour Company in Marietta, Ohio, and one of their locations is the Anchorage, which we investigated last weekend, right? Yes.
Sure. I don't remember.
It's all blurring together. Pretty sure it was April 13th, and it was a wonderful location. I would recommend that place to any paranormal investigator who wants to do a private.
I would like to go again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the places I like, I want to stay there for a long, long time. So you can, do all the type of research you want to do, get all the shots that you want, tell the story the way you want to. But hopefully,
sure,
we have it good enough, and hopefully we return again sometime.
Joe wants to know: can Josh run across the screen naked real quick? Why is what everybody wants to see Josh naked?
Why not? We are lit. Thanks for the help with the answers and keep doing what you do. Thanks, Brian. We will keep doing it. So we'll go ahead and wrap the show up. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the new people that's joined and watched and asked questions and interact. That's what this show's about. We do this show once a week. We usually try to do it on Tuesday nights at 8, but since me and Jessica have daughters that are into softball, it's hard because they'll have it on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and stuff. That won't continue forever, but just stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. You can click the notification bell when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notified to all these events. We put out live events and keep you updated beforehand. So that's a way you can get it. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk a little bit about cross-link stuff. If you have not yet seen the link to our website in the video description, it's interfacedeath.net. Everything that we do can be accessed there. It is the hub of everything that we do. Please go subscribe to the mailing list. We do newsletters. We do all kinds of stuff there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can check out the blog page that we broadcast this show on Facebook. We also have an Interface Death Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Patreon is a way you can financially support us, get rewarded, get perks, get exclusive content. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can go to Interface Death Paranormal Research on YouTube and subscribe there. Now, Patreon is supported financially by the folks that watch our show and listed here: Clay Borman, RJ Murphy, Scotty Fox, Casey Schreiner, Jessica Bias, Paranormal Reporter, Joe Vitale, Heather Elliott, General Rogue, Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers, and the Ghost Guild all make this content possible. If you want to help and support what we do and keep this content here to stay and be listed as producers in our video content, check out patreon.com/support Interface Death. The link is in the video description. That is what drives everything that we do. I'm going to leave it there. You guys are great. We got a full moon coming up Friday. Things are shifting around. Things are happening. Things are lit, as some people would say. Check out Deadlight LLC on Facebook. You'll see a little bit of promo. If you are new to these shows and you're new to this show, stick around. We have a few of our latest episodes from season 5. The trailer's up. We have the Deadlight promo. Stick around, guys. We do this content each and every week. We're going to be firing up Necromancer again this summer. I do want to put out there, if you want to vote on the topics of the show, again, at least check out Patreon, pledge $1 a month, and you can do that. And if you want to help us find guests in the Parafield to interview on the Necromancer Live show, get a hold of me. I need help with that. You guys were awesome. I'll see you next time. Do you have that drive? That morbid curiosity to explore the darkness? Do you have what it takes to brave the night? You do? Good. Are you down there? Not afraid. We know what it feels like to walk in the darkness.
Are you in this room over here? What the fuck, dude?
Whoa.
That's weird.
You didn't do anything, right?
No, I just turned.
Justin too close?
No,
He opened that door and it went off.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you just run out of there?